on this week's episode of the 8x8 podcast.
I like to keep to myself most of the time. I have a small group of friends. I like spending time with my family, my partner Bree, and especially my two dogs, working as a police officer. And then I got a job with search and rescue in the police force back in Melbourne.
Wow.
So, I don't really like social media that much, to be honest, but it's something that I've got to spend a bit more time on these days.
But I never had you down as a city slicker that went to the countryside. I thought you were always rural. What inspired that move out to the countryside? What was the unique differences that you experienced in your day-to-day going from, I guess, inner city police work to rural police work? Like, that must have been a bit of a transition, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with osteitis pubis the week after Perth.
Are you coping? Because you had a good season last season. I'm sure you probably had higher expectations of yourself, but like from the Barcelona race, where it was a really fiercely competitive race and you come out on top, and then I think you qualified, you came higher than even Alex in the World Championships. Awesome. And how did you, being a bit of a social media non-lover, how did you deal with that attention at that time? Rural guy from Victoria, let's take a walk through some of your phobias. The spiders, the snakes, the sharks. Like, who's your biggest sort of rival out there on the trails? Like, what's the ones that gives you the heebie-jeebies? Like, tell us a little bit about some of the dangerous stuff down there in Australia, because I love that shit. What was the most interesting police call you've ever had? Do you think if you had the ability to turn professional, you could be a world champion in the sport?
Yeah, like when I raced in Barcelona, I thought the odds were against me, and yeah, like you never know what's going to happen if you put the work in.
Here we are. Welcome back to episode, 14 of episode 4 of season 2, episode 14 overall, with the incredible, the true blue Aussie, Tom Rodgers. Hey Tom, how are you getting on?
Hey Ryan, yeah, I'm well, thanks mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit of a shaky start there, getting us set up, but we're here now. But Tom, how we start every single podcast is with this simple question, which is hard to answer often. If you're to remove the athlete from Tom Rodgers, what would be the shortest way that you would describe yourself?
To be honest, I like to keep to myself most of the time. I have a small group of friends. I like spending time with my family, my partner Bree, and especially my two dogs. I don't really like social media that much, to be honest, but it's something that I've got to spend a bit more time on these days. But yeah, I just like to be out in the bush, and yeah, I just like to keep to myself most of the times and friends and family.
Right. Okay. Interesting. And interesting on the social media bit. I think most people are starting, while you've probably been there for a long time, maybe most of your life, a lot of people are starting to go that way. People are just getting tired of social media. But speaking to that a little bit more, Victoria, Australia, right? That's your main province. That's where you're from.
Yeah, that's right. I grew up in Melbourne, in the suburbs in Melbourne, and then probably 5 years ago, I moved out to country Victoria, out in Stawell near the Grampians.
Right.
Yeah, spent a couple of years out here working as a police officer, and then I got a job with search and rescue in the police force back in Melbourne.
Wow.
So yeah, I moved back there for almost 2 years, and then did that for a while, and then decided I liked the country lifestyle and came back out to the country a couple of years ago now.
That's fantastic. So yeah, it sounds like growing up in Melbourne. Like, Melbourne is, as someone that lived out in Australia, it's a great city. It's very artsy, isn't it? Very creative. People are very posh about their coffee, and they always yap about the weather always changing. But I never had you down as a city slicker that went to the countryside. I thought you were always rural. What inspired that move out to the countryside?
Yeah, I guess like whenever I went away on holidays, I'd always go up to a place called Bright, which is in the northern part of Victoria, and I just always love being out in the country. I love running on the trails with my two dogs.
Yeah.
And, I don't like traffic that much, so it's just a bit easier being out in the country. Yeah, they're probably the main reasons, to be honest. I just like the quiet lifestyle. I do miss like some of my close mates back in Melbourne and my parents and siblings and that. But Yeah, I'm out here with my partner and yeah, my 2 dogs, and it's yeah, really good lifestyle to be honest.
So I was in London last week, and I met two Aussies that were backpacking, and they were a younger couple, and they said they're just finishing a trip around all of Europe, and they landed in London, and they went, you know what? It was all great, but the coffee's shit. And I went, where did you go? And they went, we went to Italy. We went to Spain. We went to France. I'm like, you still think that Melbourne coffee is better than fucking Italian coffee? What is it with Melbourners and their coffee, man? How good is it out there?
Yeah, I don't know. Classic Aussies, I guess.
What was the unique differences that you experienced in your day to day going from I guess inner city police work to rural police work? Like that must have been a bit of a transition. I'm sure the situations you're in are
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah,
different.
so yeah, city policing was probably a lot busier. Different sort of crime, I guess. And yeah, you're just busy like the whole shift and often doing overtime.
Yeah.
Whereas country policing, you don't have as much backup, so you've got to be your communication skills have probably maybe got to be a bit better. You
Yeah.
might have to talk your way out of things a bit more.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, they're probably the main differences. But then yeah, when I went back to Melbourne for the second time, I was in search and rescue. So that was like pretty much a completely different role to policing. We did like all the rescues out in the bush and any sort of dive related where you're trying to find people who are out in the water,
Right.
often like body recovery and that sort of thing. So yeah, it was a very different job to policing, I guess.
Yeah, and that is fascinating, and I can't imagine how you mix the two. I've got a few questions about that later on in the podcast, but it seems like right now, are you harvesting a bit of an injury you've picked up in the last few months? Are you in the midst of recovering for that? How are you coping?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately was diagnosed with osteitis pubis the week after Perth. It's something I'd sort of been dealing with for probably 2 months before Perth, 2 or 3 months before Perth, but it wasn't too bad at that stage and it sort of slowly progressed. And in the last 4 weeks before Perth, it was quite bad.
Right.
So yeah, now I still can't run and I still can't do any HYROX related movements, but I'm back on the bike a fair bit now and hopefully I see my physio next week and hopefully I can get back into some running.
Yeah.
But it's just an injury that's really hard to get rid of because basically the adductor tendon where it inserts on like the pubic bone, it's pulling on the bone and it's basically caused inflammation in the
Hmm.
bone or in the cartilage there.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, it's just really hard to get rid of because you need a little bit of stimulus to get like blood flow to that area, but not too much that it causes further damage.
Gotcha. So, you said the adductor, right? Not the abductor. So it's pulling the leg towards the center line. Probably is it attaching just in behind the abs, just above the hip bone, and then to the main leg as well? Is it all
Yeah,
inflamed in there?
yeah, exactly. And yeah, I've got like a bit of pain in my lower abs as well, so it's sort of all inflamed in that same area.
Fuck.
Um,
Is that chronic? Is that just is that training induced? Is it genetic?
yeah,
Like, where does it come from?
yeah. So it's an injury that like a lot of like footy players get, like soccer players, and it's like mostly like change of direction sports. But
Right.
I think, to be honest, it's one of my legs is shorter than the other leg because I
Hmm.
broke it sort of 15 years ago. So there's
Yeah.
probably a bit of an imbalance with my hips when I'm doing lots of squats and lunges. So I think
Yeah.
just that repetitive motion for like 600 reps of wall balls and 600 reps of lunges each week's just slowly added up, and it's
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
caused it to become inflamed. So it's something I'm trying to fix is that imbalance. Like putting a like a spacer in the sole of my shoe on my right
Yeah.
leg, to sort of even it out in my hips a bit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's something we're working on at the moment.
It's hard. I've never had it diagnosed as the same terminology as that, but I tore my iliopsoas in a marathon about 6 years ago, which is very similar sort of movement, getting the knee up, raising the knee. It becomes very inflamed, and I'm 6 years on. I always feel the scar tissue in there, and it's really annoying. It would be good to understand because hip flexor injuries like this, it is a hip flexor injury essentially, isn't it? Or maybe
Yeah,
am I
pretty
wrong?
much. Yeah, the
Is it the
adductor.
bone or the ligament?
So it's basically the cartilage in the pubic bone, but
Gotcha.
it's come from the adductor tendon mostly in my
Gotcha.
leg. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What therapies have you found helpful? What have you found bullshit? What have you found that give you any sort of relief for progress? Like, where are you? Because I know you're probably trying everything right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of strengthening work, like a lot of ball squeezes, like 30-second holds where you're pushing your knees together, holding a ball.
Yeah.
A lot of like Copenhagen, like side planks where you've got your leg up on like a bench.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really, yeah, really strengthening that groin area.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty much every day I'm doing like 20 minutes worth of exercises, and then every second day it's probably 40 minutes of like rehab exercises.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly strengthening. I can't really do anything where my knee's bent past 90 degrees because that's when it's putting too much pressure on that area and making it more inflamed, I guess.
Yeah. 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 Cool.
Cycling's pretty much the limit of the flexion I can get in my knees at the moment.
Gotcha. I had this conversation with Hide actually a few weeks ago about cross training and how much it can carry over, like to actual sports specific training. Like this is probably you're probably a really good person to ask this question. Do you think that you could hold conditioning on cycling and ski ergs and then put in a race and put up with the pain and hold a decent level, or do you think you need that sort of mimicked running format to hold that engine pace and hold that sort of heart rate management, which is a lot higher impact? Do you think you could do that? Is that what you're thinking, or are you going to
Um,
wait?
I think to compete at the elite level, you really need like a good running base.
Yeah,
But I think you can get probably 80 or 90% of the fitness benefits from cycling and erg work. It's just becoming like an economical runner, and that takes like volume, I guess, and
hmm,
speed work. Like I think I could probably still put up a decent time, like if I was training properly with everything without running, but
yeah,
it wouldn't be anywhere near that elite time, I guess. But I
yeah,
think if people get injured running, like high volume, I think if
yeah.
they want to put cycling in and do less running and potentially just do their quality running as runs and then do the extra volume on the bike or the rower, I think that's a really good way to minimize the risk of injury, definitely.
That's interesting. How are you coping? Because you had a good season last season. I'm sure you probably had higher expectations of yourself, but like from the Barcelona race, where it was a really fiercely competitive race and you come out on top, and then I think you qualified. You came higher than even Alex in the World Championships. Was Alex like eighth or ninth, and you were like sixth or seventh? Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I
it was a
think
good,
I finished sixth. I think, I'm not sure exactly what he finished, but yeah, I think he.
yeah. So like how like you must have been just chewing it a bit to get stuck into the season. Then obviously it started like this. I think you raced one time. Like how are you dealing with it? Are you that pissed, or HYROX is something you just enjoy to do, or it means a lot to you? Like how are you coping with it? Because that's annoying.
Yeah, to be honest, I was pretty depressed initially. Like initially when I got the injury, I tried to stay positive. I was like, all right, I'll pull out of Hamburg and then just really focus on Melbourne.
Yeah,
And watching the Hamburg race was like one of the hardest things I've done. Like just watching it online, I was just shattered because I'd done 3 years of like pretty much training for this, and I'd finally qualified for one of the majors, and to have to turn that down was pretty shattering. And for a couple of weeks after that, I was quite down. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm just trying to stay positive. Like it is what it is. There's so many other things in life, and it's not like my full-time career or anything like that. It's a
yeah,
hobby for me, and if I take it too seriously and if I get depressed about something like that, it's just going to affect the rest of my life. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm enjoying other things now. I get to spend more time with Bree and my dogs and family and friends, which is good.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we can build up and maybe hit that Brisbane race early next year because I don't think yeah, I won't be racing Melbourne at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard, man. It's hard. So it is. And injury management is just a part of sport. And there is that what do you call that company from Germany? They sponsor a lot of the Elite 15 athletes. They do the sole inserts. Maybe that'd be a
Oh
pretty
yeah,
natural sponsor for you.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure if Tim or one of those guys can introduce you to them, but I forget what you call them. I don't know the name of the company, but that is their speciality, is balancing the legs and balancing the proprioception within the shoes.
Yeah, I know the company you're talking about, but yeah, that's a good idea. I might have to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems like a natural relationship. But yeah, man. So outside of that, growing up, how was family life? How was the early years growing up in inner city Melbourne? And like, what's the family structure like? Were your parents big sporting athletes, brothers and sisters? What's just the general? How was your childhood?
Yeah, no, I had a really good childhood. I got really supportive parents, and I got two younger brothers and a younger sister as well. So we're all really close, and yeah, it's a pretty sporting family. Like mostly like team sports. Like I grew up playing like hockey, basketball, cricket, bit of football, and pretty much anything you can think of. I tried it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, always did a bit of cross country running at school and did a bit of swimming as well. And then sort of got into triathlons in my last few years of school. And then when I left school, that's when I sort of started to take that really seriously and sort of
Cool.
gave that a crack full time before I decided to get a full time job.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, my parents, like my dad would get up at 4:45 in the morning and take me to swim, or 4:30 in the morning and take me to swimming pretty
Okay.
much Monday to Friday every day. And yeah, like my mum and dad come to like all my sporting events. I think they've watched all my HYROX races. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, no, I had a great upbringing.
That's
Still
awesome.
really close with my family as well.
Yeah, that's one commonality in all of the Elite 15 guys and girls, is that they were competitive from a very early age. That's one thing that I've noticed, is whether it was swimming or triathlon or whatever it was, they had crazy routines from very early on. I can't think of anyone that was just drinking pints until they were 16. It was like, let's let's go give this high rocks a crack. Is there anyone that just sort of popped up out of nowhere without a sporting bag? I don't think there is.
Nah,
Um,
I think with endurance sports, that's just like the way it is. The top athletes, like I think the biggest correlating factor between training and results is like the higher your training volume or the higher it's a combination, I guess, of training volume and intensity. But yeah,
yeah.
the higher that is, the more likely you are to have a better result. And obviously, it's
Yeah.
showing like years and years and years of training just adds up. Like
Mhm, mhm.
at school, like I'd run to school when I was living like 6 or 7 k's away, and then I'd
Yeah,
run to cricket training after school, and then do cricket training, then get picked up, and then
yeah.
when I was living like 30 k's away from school, then I'd ride to school most days. So
All
it all
right.
just adds up, I guess.
There you go. The car just made it to Australia in 1990. Tom was just hoofing it around everywhere.
That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What was your triathlon journey like? I actually done about probably 8 years of triathlon. My preferred distance was the half Ironman, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But what was your preferred distance?
Yeah, I was the same, half Ironman. When I was younger, sprint distance and Olympic distance. But then
Yeah.
when I sort of started competing at a professional level, it was just the half Ironman distance for probably 3 or 4 years. I competed at that level. Um,
Wow. Okay.
but yeah, it's yeah, I love triathlons. I just sort of had to give it up because it was just so much training. Like often you're training 30 hours or close to 30 hours a week, and then
Oh yeah.
wasn't making any money from it. I wasn't that good, so
Yeah.
yeah, eventually had to get a job and yeah,
Yeah.
just ended up giving it up. What
Yeah.
how long did you do it for?
I've probably done about 9 or 10 races, to be honest. I've done 1 or 2 fulls, and I've done about 7 halves, and then I think I done 1 or 2 sprints. I was by no means the level you were, but to be honest, if I would have stuck at it, I could have been at a good level. Like my quickest half was 4 hours 50, and I done that at like 93 kilograms. So if I would have dialed in diet, I probably could have got closer to 4.5 or 420. But I was a full-time corporate person as well, like you. It's just you're just hammering yourself from all sides, really, aren't you? What was your quickest time in a half Ironman?
I think I did 351
Fuck.
or low 350s, 353 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy the times they put up, right? Like the
Oh,
world record is like what? I think it's what, like 330?
330.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the running, like, yeah, I was thereabouts on the swim, and then my cycling was there, but the running was just, I was just nowhere near on the run. They were just running so quick. It was crazy.
yeah. It was for me. It was the bikes. I hated the bike work. I got to be honest. I really did. I just hated my Saturdays and Sundays where I was doing 4 hour or 6 hour blocks on the bikes. It just destroyed it. The swimming I could put up with. I realized that I was never really going to gain that much time on my swim, so I done 1 or 2 sessions a week. But I just spent most of my time biking and running, and the biking fucking bored the cunt out of me. It really did.
It's a lot of time you got to spend to get good at it as well.
It's where all the time's made up as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. Let's jump into some specific questions. So yeah, that's part of this. Is we've got ones just for you, and they'll come from slightly different angles. Okay, cool. So I'm just getting used to my new technology here. So show. Okay, the Barcelona last chance qualifier. Coming into that race, I think you had a lot of good performances across the board, but was that like your sort of real coming out party, like as an athlete, like competing in a heavy field, getting the first? What changed going into it? What changed coming out of it? So to get that number one spot, anything in particular?
In terms of training, mostly, or
Yeah, well, training, lifestyle, commitment to it, racing in Europe for the first time, taking a chance on yourself, all those types of things.
yeah. I guess early that season I sort of figured out that for me to qualify for the Elite 15, that was going to be the best way to do it, because there was just a lot of fast times coming out of different areas, and it was not to say that those times weren't legit. It was just about finding the right course to get that fast time on. So for me, it was easiest just to race the best guys. I raced James Kelly a few times and always just compared myself to him, and then looked at the other athletes that he was racing, and I thought I could have a shot because he would beat a lot of those guys by about 2 minutes, and that's sort of what I was finishing behind him
Yeah.
at that stage.
Mhm.
So yeah, I pretty much planned my season around that. I was hoping to have a better race in Auckland, which was in February.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think I was pretty much as fit for Auckland as I was for Barcelona. I just really struggled on the sleds that day. But yeah, the training leading up to Barcelona was, I worked on the sleds a bit more, I guess, was one thing that I focused on. I added in a little bit of heat training, and I probably dropped my run volume back maybe 20 Ks less per week. So I was running, I think before Auckland, I was running close to 100 Ks a week, and I was probably running better.
Wow.
But it was probably, I was probably just a bit too fatigued for some of that heavy sled work. So
Yeah.
I sort of dropped that back to 80 Ks a week, and just found that balance a bit better between the station work and the running.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably the main things. And then in terms of like how my life changed after, it was yeah, it was crazy, to be honest. Like no one really knew of me before that. And then yeah, I just had like so many like hundreds of messages on Instagram, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was pretty cool, to be honest. Like people were recognizing the result. And yeah, like some sponsors came on board as well. And then just to have that chance to race in the Elite 15 in Chicago, which was my whole dream, was yeah, it was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how did you, being a bit of a social media non-lover. How did you deal with that attention at that time?
Yeah, bit of a struggle, to be honest. I started a YouTube channel of like a few
Oh,
weeks.
nice.
Yeah, I started like a few weeks before Barcelona because I was like, oh, this seems to be the thing that everyone wants these days. So I started
Yeah,
it and wasn't very good. It's mostly just me filming myself doing stuff. But then
get it out there.
yeah, I tried to take it a bit more seriously after Barcelona, and it's a lot of work, to be honest. Like, especially when you're trying to film yourself, and I only have like a certain amount of time to train each day between work and training. So
Yeah,
to add the filming in and trying to edit videos, which I'm really slow at because technology is not really my thing either.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not something I really enjoyed. I like training and I like racing the best guys, and that's what I like to do. But I understand it's like a big part of the sport, and yeah, a big part of promoting brands these days.
Yeah, it is. It is. I learned that lesson quite early on in my career. It's often not the best athlete. It's often not the best personal trainer. It's often not the best fucking real estate agent. It's the person that markets themselves the best ultimately has success. And I think we've seen that. I'm not going to name the Elite 15 athletes, but I think we've seen that pretty early on with a few of the breakout athletes that got big sponsorships because they were producing really high quality content. And then now they've got all the resources to turn in really good performances and they don't have to work like to be a police officer X amount of hours a day. They're just focusing on this. So it is just one of those really unfortunate things, isn't it? If you really want to succeed in the sport, you got to do it. But yeah, I empathize with you, man. I love recording this podcast and speaking to you guys. Editing and social media drives me nuts. My wife actually helps me with it and I pay her to do it.
Yeah, yeah, I always get my partner Bree to do it as well. But yeah, no, that's right. Like I see so many of the guys getting these massive contracts, and I'm just like, oh, like I need to get my social media better. But I mean, full credit to them. Like they're so committed to it and they're doing it really well. But for me to do it, I need to work less. Like something needs to give. Like I need to either train less or work less. And for me,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, this is my hobby. I'd love to do it full time, but until I get better at social media, and my results keep improving, that's probably not a
It's
reality.
one or the other, right?
Yeah,
It's cart before the horse or horse before the cart. Like if you just keep winning, all that's going to take care of itself. Or if you want to get some attention, you'll get some resources, and then you might have the ability to just keep winning. So yeah, it's just whatever suits you most. All right, cool. Different question, different angle. If you were to succeed at one of the Aussie sports, which one would you have most success in? So let's think traditionally Aussie sports. So we got cricket, you mentioned, especially where you are. You've got you guys call it footy, which is Aussie rules, rugby league, rugby union. Like which one, if you were to go all in on, like you went in on triathlon and this, would you have most success in?
oof. I'm not a very powerful athlete, to be honest. So those ball sports, those team sports, don't really suit me. But
Right.
I played a fair bit of cricket growing up, so probably cricket, I'd say.
Gotcha. What was your unique skill set in cricket? Were you a bowler or batter?
I was a
Hybrid.
bowler. I was an okay batter, but mostly a bowler. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my claim to fame is very recent, where we played a local cricket side, and the captain of that local cricket side was Kumar Sangakkara,
Yeah, wow.
and I was in second slip as one of the guys from our company team. Like it was a charity match. I work for a company called Crowdcoms, and we put together a team. One of the guys from our country team bowled him on the second ball, and it got caught by the wicketkeeper. So we bowled Kumar Sangakkara for a duck. So what had to happen in the charity match was he says we've got to play another innings, 10 overs, and he hit 100. He hit 100 off like 25 balls. He was so angry.
He would have been so angry. He was just charging. Oh.
Oh, that was awesome, man. Cool. So what do we got? show. How do you think your actual home location impacts your chances of success? Like there is a bit of a trend with people moving towards the big cities, right? People move to the big cities for two things: to find a partner and to find success, and then they generally go rural once that's happened. So like you're in the midst of your peak athletic career. Do you think living in rural Victoria hurts you and not having competition around you?
Um, yeah, so I do all my training on my own, and my 2 dogs. So I think it has positives and negatives. I like training on my own. I've always trained on my own.
Yeah,
But I would like to do 1 or 2 sessions a week with someone. But yeah, I think I definitely miss out on that.
yeah.
Um, but training on my own also allows me to focus on the right intensity and um, yeah, just hit the intensity like in the right zone. Because I think often people just train too hard all the time because they're trying to race whoever they're training with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that's a negative because it would be nice to have someone push me on those harder workouts. Um, Also, I guess like if I was training in like a group environment, it'd probably be easier to get someone who's good with photography and that sort of thing to help me with the social media side of things. So I think
Yeah.
I really miss out on that as well.
Yeah.
Uh, and just making connections with different people, different companies as well. That's a massive thing I think I miss out on being out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but for me, like I love just getting out on the trails here. My dogs can run off lead. Like that keeps me happy. That's what I look forward to every day. Just going out on the trails, out in the bush. It's
Yeah.
yeah, I think that helps with motivation. Whereas if I'm running on the concrete in the city with the dogs on the lead, it doesn't really. I don't really get excited by that, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered like a hybrid approach, like almost like a UFC fighter style approach, where you do a core amount of your base training yourself, and then like a month out from key races, you go and you join one of the big hybrid engines or JK's crew or one of those ones, and you just dial it in alongside. Have you considered doing something like that?
Yeah, to be honest, before Hamburg, I was hoping to go up and train with JK up in Queensland, and
Hmm.
we are almost starting to plan it, but that's when I got injured and had to pull the pin, which
Gotcha.
yeah, it was just bad timing, really. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to do that. It'd be yeah, it'd be awesome. I think.
Yeah, out of all the Aussie athletes, are you sort of closest with JK? Is that the one you have the best relationship with?
Yeah, I speak to him a lot. I speak to Tangy Cruz a lot.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you know him. He's a really good
I don't.
athlete.
Tell us about him a little bit now that we've mentioned
Yeah.
him.
So he's actually from France, but he lives in Australia. He's I think the last 3 races I've had with him, we've been within 30 seconds of each other each race.
Wow, I'm gonna search him.
So yeah, I've had some good battles with him over the years, and yeah, he's a really fun guy to race with.
Yeah,
Also talked to Dexter Buchanan. He's another one of the top Aussie blokes who I've had some good races with.
yeah,
And then John Wynn as well. I spoke to him a fair bit because we raced in Barcelona and then hung out
yeah.
with him a bit in Chicago as well. Um,
John is just one of the best guys on planet Earth. You know,
yeah, yeah,
really like him, and you guys probably have that military police affinity as well,
yeah.
for sure. But have you had much time around this new whippersnapper that just looks like an absolute animal of a thing, Josh van der Zeeland, I think it is. Is he across in Perth?
No, I haven't had much to do with him, to be honest. I raced him in Perth, but so I met him there. But yeah, I've only spoken to him in Perth that time, really. So
Cool.
yeah, no, he's doing really well by the looks of things. So yeah, he's got a promising future in the sport.
How have you, as a spectator in the last few months, for me, it's kind of like a few athletes going professional has really started to change the game, really. Like the average times people are putting up now are often in the 55s and occasionally 54s, like lots of 54s recently, which was relatively unheard of. Are you noticing the same thing now that these guys are transitioning to full-time athletes? There's a minute or two off the average times just dropped this season, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. I knew this would happen, and to be honest, I'm just grateful I got to race at that level at least a couple of times. But yeah, I think now you see that most of the guys are full time. It's just going to keep getting faster, and I think if you do want to put out those times, it's not necessarily the amount of training that you can get. Like I think I can train enough. It's mostly the recovery between training. Like yeah, like I'm training at midnight sometimes, or I'm training at like it just changes every day with work and but yeah, that's sport. Like it's an elite sport now, and yeah, it's really impressive to see guys doing it full time and just bringing the level to 53, 54, 55 is
Yeah.
normal, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Okay, cool. This one completely left field again. Rural guy from Victoria. Let's take a walk through your some of your phobias: the spiders, the snakes, the sharks. Like, who's your biggest sort of rival out there on the trails? Like, what's the ones that gives you the heebie-jeebies? Like, yeah, tell us a little bit about some of the dangerous stuff down there in Australia, because I love that shit.
Mate, to be honest, my parents are both vets, so I grew up with a lot of animals, and I love animals. But
Okay.
having two dogs with me on the trails, and just there being so many snakes, yeah, I get quite nervous on warm days because the dogs will often just run in front of me, and yeah, I see snakes on the trails. Like I saw one today when I was out with the dogs. It's just like. I've seen 3 this week.
What are we dealing with here? We're dealing with carpet snakes. We're dealing with browns. We're dealing with.
So today was a brown snake. So if you get bitten by one of them, you're pretty much stuffed. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about myself. It's more the dogs. Just if they probably wouldn't attack it, but they'd just run over it and just get bitten accidentally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind seeing them, just not when I'm with the dogs, to be honest.
That's the thing that always fascinated me most about Australians, is that if I seen a brown snake in my day today, the first thing that I would have told you on this podcast is that I seen a brown snake this morning, and I'm really struck. But for you guys, you really do take it as a part of like your daily life and stride, even like off the coast of Melbourne. Like it is relatively shark infested down there too, and the spiders like that you have to deal with down there, like almost everything's trying to get you.
Well, it's funny, right? Like we've got all these deadly animals, but none of them are really that aggressive. So like not many people actually die from I think 1 or 2 people die a year from snakes in Australia, and
2 more than Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you look at India and it's like thousands of people die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they're very deadly, but they're not aggressive, so they're not too bad.
Gotcha. I thought you'd be the best person to ask on this. Do you think overtraining is a real thing? And how to avoid it? And let me just frame that. I know you can run the point of rhabdo, and that's a real thing. But like you are working night shifts, training all hours, probably putting close to 20 hours in outside of your crazy work schedule. Like, how much of overtraining do you think is mental versus physical? What do you think about overtraining? Do you think it's an overly used term?
No, I think it definitely happens physically and mentally. Like I think it's mostly due to intensity. Like I think I can probably go out and do 30 hours a week, no worries, like low intensity, and I wouldn't get burnt out. But if I'm doing 15 hours a week of like high intensity HYROX training, that is more likely to burn me out than like just 30 hours of aerobic work. I think it cooks your central nervous system, and also the fact mentally you have to prepare yourself for those sessions. So the more of them you do, the more mentally fatigued you're going to get. And I've definitely done it in the past, and I'm sure most athletes have. And so I think for me, if I'm feeling burnt out or mentally cooked, I won't necessarily drop the volume back. I'll just drop the intensity back a bit, and I'll take it easy for a few days or a few weeks or however long it takes. And you can still keep super fit from that lower intensity work. What are your thoughts on that?
On overtraining, it's something I've definitely experienced. But for me, like the physical part is what it is. If there's something written down, I'll generally get it knocked out. But for me, it's the combination of everything in your life. I don't think it's the training per se. It's managing my twins pre and post work, and then training, and then this, and then not hitting targets, and then not doing that. For me, it's a lot more mental. Just like I've no fucking gaps in my life, and I just can't deal with this right now. And physically, even when I'm tired, you can kind of get the body going. But I never performed at the level that you did, so I was never at like peak performance where I was like, yeah, I'm up or down 2%. Didn't matter that much to me. I had 10% to swing. But yeah, for me, it's the mental load of just not having gaps at all for anything that really bothers me. For sure.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think mental fatigue is massive, especially when you're so busy. Definitely.
100%. You probably don't know this about me, but something give for me last year. Because I was doing all of those things. And in December, from around about October to early December, I had this virus and I couldn't shift it. But I'd set this ambitious goal where in my first HYROX, I wanted to go less than 65 minutes. I've been a good runner. I've always been a good runner. In Ironman, I was a good runner. And I was just going all in for about 8 months. I was just training by myself, just fucking hammering myself. I'd done a few test sort of simulations in reasonably accurate conditions, and I got like a 66 or a 67. But I was so fucking sick, dude. Like I couldn't get over this virus. And then in December, on the 8th, I woke up in the middle of the night and it was like an elephant was sitting on my chest and there's pain from front to back and my heart had blown up. So it had, yeah. So I ended up in hospital with what they thought was a heart attack at 36 years old. But what I actually had, after some further investigation, was myocarditis. So essentially what that it's the ultimate overtraining in the sense of your immune system was so fucked and you just kept tanking it with training. So the heart had to swell up to protect itself from the constant stress you're putting on it. So I ended up spending the first 4 months of 2025 in bed. I never got to race my first HYROX.
Far out. That's crazy. Do you
Yeah,
have to do you have to like monitor your heart now and get like regular checkups?
it sucks, man, because because once the inflammation dies down, you're left with a relatively healthy heart. Like there's a little bit of scarring on my heart now, which I don't know what impact it does have. But I promised myself I'm not doing anything crazy high intensity until next year. Give it a full year. I feel generally normal. But when it comes to cardiology, like the NHS in the UK is so busy that it's like red alert. It's like people having heart attacks, people having strokes, people having this, people having that. And then a young fella that's 37 years old that still has relatively good heart function but can't perform in sport the way he really wants to, it's very hard to get the treatment that I want. So I am dealing with some of the side effects of it still, but I'm just not getting the treatment that I need. Like all my training is actually done on, there's a echo bike just behind that laundry basket. I just do 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 4 or 5 days a week, just building a base, hoping that I can do my first HYROX next year. But yeah, long story short is that whether you're mentally tough, I don't give a shit who you are. Even David Goggins' knees blow out, for God's sake. Like it doesn't matter how mentally tough you are. You've only got one central engine, really, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Need to look after your health before anything else.
Yeah, I know, but there's something about the competitive spirit. You always try and find a way back. So yeah, that's crazy, man. So I empathize with what you're going through. It's not easy. This year's been the hardest year of my life. Do you think if you had the ability to turn professional, you could be a world champion in the sport?
Oh, see, after world champs, I thought I could have a crack at the podium. I
Mhm.
think I think the first and second were out of reach for me at the world champs this year, but I think if I trained perfectly, that was probably my peak potential. Not saying that that was what I could have done this year, but that was just my thinking behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, world champion. I think it's, yeah. I mean, genetics comes into play there. I think the sport's getting quicker. Yeah, I'd never say never. I mean, like that's what we're all in this for. Like that's the dream. So yeah, like I'd love to think I could, but it'd be a big ask, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, with you planning to return in Brisbane next year, what? I haven't asked you what age are you, Tom? Like, what part of your athletic career are you? I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm 32.
32. Okay, cool. So you've probably got another good 6 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
What are your ambitions within the sport?
Yeah, so yeah, for now, like I just would love to get back into the Elite 15.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been bumped down the ranking a bit since yeah, not really racing lately. So yeah, my pretty much my last chance is Brisbane. So yeah, I'd just love to get back into the Elite 15 and be able to race at Worlds in Stockholm next year. But to get there would everything would have to go perfect, to be honest, at this stage. It's a long
Yeah,
way back.
yeah, no, 100%. But the hero's journey is exciting, though, isn't it? It's a great story.
Yeah, that's right. Like when I raced in Barcelona, I thought the odds were against me, and yeah, like you never know what's going to happen if you put the work in, and yeah.
Hmm. So for the next like sort of 2 months, 3 months, like your ambition now is just to maintain sort of a really good base, and keep the inflammation down within your hip, and then really start peaking around about what, January, February. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, if I can get rid of the injury, that would be the plan. Like I haven't run for like 6 or 7 weeks, I think, and I haven't done any HYROX movements since Perth, which was maybe almost 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm cycling. I'll probably get over 20 hours of training this week, but
Wow.
it's pretty much all cycling. So yeah, that doesn't cause any pain, and I think I'll be able to get back into running without too many issues. I hope,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
I'm a bit concerned about the lunges and the wobbles. To be honest, I think I'll just have to be really careful with that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And within the HYROX sort of testing pool, like the drug testing, is peptide use ruled out of that as well? Are you allowed to leverage that for recovery, or I haven't really looked at that specific element.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're allowed to.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think I looked it up a while ago, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'd have to check if you can have it with like a doctor's referral, but to be honest, I don't think you can, like out of competition. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I've just heard such great things, and I'm not promoting that you take something that's not for the sport, but I've just heard great things about TB. What is it called? TB 500 and BBC 500 and TPC 157.
157, one five
Yeah,
seven.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's the reason I looked it up because I was like, "Oh, is this stuff legal?" Because it kept popping up on Instagram, and then looked into it. But yeah, you're not allowed to take that stuff.
yeah. So I'm actually considering it for the recovery of the scar tissue on my heart actually soon. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, which I'll give. But okay, that sucks. Okay, cool. So what do we got? One more question, and then we're into the wrap up. So what do we got? That's another sort of police story. That's not very good. What do we got here?
Oh, well, the other thing I looked at, I actually can't take it over here. Like it's illegal. It can only be taken for non-human trials or something in Australia.
Okay.
Like if I took it, I could potentially lose my job as well. So,
Oh,
uh,
really? What's this
yeah.
one?
Sorry,
What is it?
the like the BPC 157.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, like I couldn't take it either way.
Gotcha. So who's the best athlete in Oz right now on any given day? Like and also as a second part of that question, JK, he's really sort of challenged now, isn't he? The larger frames seem to be pushing forward, and JK is obviously a fantastic athlete. It's interesting to see whether the genetic sort of frame, where JK's at versus where some of these guys are at, is stopping him from being at the upper echelons. But who do you think the best athlete is in Oz right now, all things considered, for the sport?
Male.
Yeah, Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Joanna Wetrick, obviously on
yeah,
the female side, and James Kelly. He's
yeah.
like he's so consistent. Like I was trying to work it out the other day. I think he's pretty much won every non-elite 15 race he's ever done, except for the other day. And like the amount of races he's done around that 55, 54 minute mark is just it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's obviously up and comers like Josh has proved he's like around that level in the most recent race. But yeah, I mean for James Kelly, I'm guessing that probably wasn't an A race.
Gotcha.
Melbourne's his big race, but
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think he's been the most consistent and he's proven it in the elite racing.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts there.
Awesome, man. And the last question is always a three-parter. So the first part of the question is always from the previous athlete. So they ask the next athlete a question. And the question was actually similar to one that I asked you, but they said, what was the most interesting police call you've ever had or police call out you've ever had? And so that was from Vivian Tafuto.
Okay. Yep.
So what do you got for Vivian?
So the most interesting police call?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Like, I could go like my most rewarding one, maybe. I just
Rewarding would be perfect. Yeah. Rewarding would be even better. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably when I was a search and rescue. We had a bloke go missing with dementia. He owned a property out in the country with his wife, and they were out walking along the property. And it's like I can't remember, it might have been 100 acres, or it would have been more, it would have been a couple of 100 acres. And he just stepped off the side of the track to go to the toilet. And when he's done that, because of his dementia, he's actually got lost, just stepping off to the side of the track. So, yeah, his wife had been searching for him all day. We drove out there that night or early the next morning, and we searched for him for it was about a 24-hour shift where we were searching for him, and late on the second night, we found him like freezing cold, no shoes. I think he was missing some of his clothes, and he was close to being dead. And it was just super rewarding. Like my nana, she's got dementia.
Yeah.
And just to see like we potentially saved his life, and you get jobs like that pretty often, but we just had like a massive group of people out there searching for him, and it was just
amazing.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's really cool, and that's the beauty of the career that you have. It's like it truly makes a difference. You know, if I do my job well, big companies become bigger. And that's not that exciting.
yeah.
But that's awesome, man. And then the next part of this is what question do you have for the next athlete, who is Kate, Elite 15 Kate, the girl. She's also going through an injury at the moment with her knee and really struggling with the management of that.
Yeah. I'd like to know what sort of cross training that she's doing while she's injured.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And interesting. Yeah, and if it's helping you. Cool.
Yeah.
So you'll see the answer to that on the next one. And then the last question that I ask everyone on the podcast is, and this is for the community, is that for the median HYROX athlete, let's say they're 90 minutes up to beyond 2 hours or whatever it is, and you were to give them one piece of advice, and that piece of advice they've got 3 months to follow, and they'll shave 10 minutes off their race performance. What would you tell them to do?
I tell them to do less like metabolic conditioning workouts and do add more volume, add more easy volume. So I like to work on like the 10% rule. So I don't like to add more than, well, this is particularly with running. I don't like to add more than 10% each week. So
Yeah.
my suggestion would be if they got like 3 months to build up towards the race, if they can, add no more than 10% each week. Just easy running. It's just going to increase their aerobic base, and someone who's a 90-minute to 2 hour athlete, that's going to be massive for them because I guarantee most people, that's their biggest limiter is aerobic fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do like burpees really quick for 2 minutes, but if you got to do that after 30 minutes of racing, it's really your aerobic system that is contributing most of that energy. So I think
Love it.
that's the most important thing for most athletes.
Listen, that's awesome. Tom, where can people find you? How can they support you in this period when you're not racing? Is there anywhere you want them to go follow you? Is there anything you need from the community right now? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, tomrodgers.j. Not great at posting stuff, but trying to work on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do reply to messages. So if you ever want to chat, just let me know. I'll be at Melbourne HYROX watching. So yeah, if you want to come and chat, come and say hi. Because I'll have a lot more time now that I'm not watching. Now that I'm
That's
not racing. Sorry.
That's awesome, man. Well, listen, we really appreciate your time. But yeah, Tom, lovely to meet you, mate. Have a wonderful evening out there. Crack yourself up in a VB, or you're more of a fancy Shiraz drinker, and kick back for the evening.
Nah, legend. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, mate. Have a wonderful evening. Nice to speak. Bye bye.
Great to chat. Cheers, Ryan.